Welcome, welcome, welcome once again, everybody. Clap your hands. To the beat, y'all. Come on. To the beat, y'all. Come on. What is the beat? I don't think there's a beat right now, so it's actually fine.
I don't hear a beat.
I don't hear a beat either, but whatever. There is actually a beat going on, which is the funny part. We just can't hear it ourselves.
Can't hear it, yeah.
Yeah. We have Vamfleb clapping in the chat. Thank you so much, Vam. Am I saying their name right? I say Vamfleb, but I hope that's right. It could be Vampleb.
That seems too unwieldy.
That's the thing, is I want to call him by like the least unwieldy name, but sometimes you make a username and you're like, no, it's Vampleb. There's also a 13 in there.
Either.
Well, I mean, if your online name was your real life name, like your digital space is now the real world space, like, are you gonna include the number in names? Like, is that gonna happen now? Because
is it like being like the third or something? Like,
I guess so, but I never called
William the Third.
I never knew any, like, I knew somebody whose name was like blank 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 the third. I'm not gonna actually say their full name on the stream. But we never called him that. In fact, he insisted on being called Elpoc. This is terrible. He was white. Wanted to be called Elpoc because his first name started with an L. I'll give that much away. But Vamfleb says it's just a combination of vampire / phlebotomist, which makes me think Vamfleb is probably the closest to that portmanteau.
I would say so.
Yeah. So I think we're nailing it.
I know we are. That's evident in the production value and entertainment value of this show.
There's so much production and entertainment value. It's hard to describe. So describe it, please. Describe our show, actually. You should describe our show.
It's hard. Okay. You know, it's a drawing show. We talk about random stuff. Ian goes on tangents about the most recent show he's watched.
Usually, yeah. I'm gonna do that tonight. I have plans. I have notes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We draw things. We have artists on sometimes, and we chat about life. You know, it's just a little slice of life. This show.
That's the best description I've heard yet for this show.
And we shit on Jeff Bezos when we get the chance to.
We do shit on Jeff Bezos a lot. We haven't done that so much lately, but I just don't think he's done anything in the public eye. Recently,
it's better to almost just not even say his name.
I you know, yeah.
Fuels him to say his name out loud.
I'm happier when I don't think about his existence. I'm like, he's like that person like who burnt down like a famous building or in like ancient Greece, so they like killed him and then struck his name from like the record books so that no one would ever know of their existence.
It's the worst thing you could do to him.
Yeah, so it's like that. That's what I'm doing with Jeff Bezos. Is it's like how they when Notch turned out to be a real piece of shit, they just like took his name off of like a bunch of websites that were like in terms of like credit for making Minecraft and things like that. I'm for it.
Seems like an effective punishment to somebody who's loaded.
Yeah. Just pretend like they don't exist, and I mean that's truly quite a punishment right there. Well, anyways, with
not exist. How terrible.
Non-existence.
Not that bad. I not existed for a long time, and it was actually not too bad.
It was arguably better for it for me.
I don't know if that's true.
But that's why I said arguably. It doesn't mean it's true. I'm just saying somebody could argue that, not me. I'm not going to.
Wow. It's really.
Someone could argue that everybody was better off not existing.
True. The world probably would be better without all of us.
Yeah, arguably. Anyways, what's new with you? What's been the happy haps for the week?
Oh gosh, let's see. I've been working my little tail off and hanging out. Got to see some family.
You have a little vestigial tail?
Yeah, I worked so hard that it just like turned gray and fell off.
Wow.
and which is great now because I don't feel like a freak.
Someone should alert Jason Alexander's character in the movie Shallow Hal.
Every time you talk about the vestigial tail, I think about that horrible scene.
That awful scene. That awful movie.
They made a choice.
They sure did.
Jason Alexander is a skilled theater actor. That was what he was reduced to.
He's a recurring character on Young Sheldon. He's putting on a whole voice.
What does he play?
He plays a teacher of some kind for. Okay, I think he plays a teacher. Most of the characters in that show are teachers, but he's like doing. He's like a drama teacher, I think. I think he teaches drama.
Old drama teacher. Does every
he's not
character
even
in
that
that show
old.
have their age before their character title?
Yeah, they have like one of those like CSI things, but like instead of saying the location, it tickers onto the screen and goes like beep 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 beep, and it says like Jason Alexander, 50, I assume. He's not like played off like an old guy. He's just played off like an eccentric, sort of self-centered drama teacher / general grifter.
Gotcha.
Is it weird that I know these details about Young Sheldon? Because I'm a little bit ashamed of it. But, I mean, look, family TV time is family TV time. I just watch whatever they put on the TV and hang out with my family.
That's good. That's, you're just taking the opportunity to bond with your family over Young Sheldon.
Or whatever else is on the TV, too.
I don't know. I've given you shit a few times for your, not hatred
for Big Bang Theory.
When it comes to Big Bang Theory.
You do, yeah.
Like the yuck your yum.
Look, here's the thing. I'm not gonna defend it. Sometimes that show is cringe. Okay, sometimes it's a very cringy show, especially when like characters are like, oh boy, what are you doing? I'm playing Fortnite. Like there's an episode where they teach, like they play Fortnite and then they teach like the wife of the one character who's very competitive. She decides to play Fortnite because she was tired of losing to the husband, so like she gets into it, and she's just the worst character anyways. I just don't enjoy her character. But anyways, that whole episode's pretty cringy.
Ian, why do you insist that women can't be funny?
That's what this is about. For sure. Canceled. No, actually, I think the funniest actor on that show is Penny, the main like girl love interest character. Her as an actress, like everything I've seen her do, she is far and away like better than everyone else. Like she's the voice of Harley Quinn on like this DC animated. Yeah, she plays the voice, and like I haven't seen all of the show, but like I've seen a couple of scenes here and there because like before I had HBO, I was curious, and now that I have HBO, I've just been watching a million things, but I haven't gotten around to that. But anyways, there's like been a lot of scenes that I've watched because I was like curious, and like every time I'm just like, wow, her delivery on that line is fucking great. Like she's doing and like I check the comments, and like there are people saying like, wow, the way she said "you fucking idiot" is hilarious, and etc. And I'm like, she's great in Big Bang Theory as well, and I think she's just actually a very talented actress. Who's very good at like taking a normal line and selling it in a way that's a little bit heightened, but like in an enjoyable way. So yeah.
What's
and then
her name
I mean
again? Kaylee
Cuoco, I want to say. Yeah, it's a cool name.
Cuoco.
Kaylee Cuoco. Cool name. She's great though. She really sells a lot of that character. Like her character could be so bland, and it's not, because she does a great job of adding personality to like what she does. Oh, hi, Draw Boys. Oh, hey, Extra Attack RPG. How's it going?
Hello.
Have you, so while we're talking about TV shows, have you been watching any TV shows?
I have. I've been watching Ozark, actually.
Really? The Jason Bateman, Breaking Bad.
Jason Bateman Breaking Bad is a hard thing to say, but yes, that is correct. Making my way through that.
I've seen the first. So here's the thing. I started watching that show when I was dating my ex.
Okay.
But like, there was like a big period of that time where we were just like drunk and high and like had a TV on while we were like hanging out in the bed with like the TV propped on the bed. It was like, it was awful. It was like living in a drug den. But so like we had that show on, but like you just like fall in and out of a sleep a lot of times because you'd just be like watching a show in your bed. So I saw like the first episode of the show, and then I like woke up and saw like an episode that looked like it was about like 5 episodes in or something like that. But I sort of got the premise. I got that Jason Bateman's like superpower in that show is that he can like really talk himself out of like a really bad situation. And just come up with like a deal on the spot that like people were just like, okay, let's see where you go with this. And that seems cool. And I do want to watch it, but you know, again, there's just 1.5 million things to watch all the time.
Extra Attack RPG says Breaking Bad is a slow build. Ozark starts on 100. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that episode, there's like 10 people die in the very first episode of that show. You just like watch a room of people get murdered. Not to spoil anything for people, but that does happen. It's kind of cool
because I feel like it's so often to build to that similar story where it's like somebody gets deeper and deeper into shit, which does happen, but they start deep in shit. So.
You know the stakes pretty immediately, like, and it's it's a great scene. I think it's like, it really sells like, oh fuck, like this is awful. These are people to be afraid of. So that works, and yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. It's won awards, I'm pretty sure, although I think awards, especially like with what I've seen as the crop of awards, and I'll explain especially, but awards are useless, like the Academy Awards and stuff. Maybe for TV shows it's a little bit better, but I've also seen some really weird, like the awards.
It's weird that there's an award, that there are award ceremonies for movies and stuff like that. It's like strange to me.
I appreciate like an award or a ceremony. Not a ceremony makes it weird, but just I appreciate a general like, hey, these are some great works of art that were made this year. Let's celebrate them. I think that's good. But obviously that's not what the Academy Awards are. The Academy Awards are, here's a bunch of rich people, let's celebrate them. Oh, also here's a bunch of movies that like we can market.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's what awards shows are.
The focus is a little strange.
Yes, the focus is not on the movies.
And then when they win, they get up on stage and they're supposed to like talk about like
poor people. It's rich people telling like poor people, telling other rich people about poor people, and then all the rich people are just like,
and they talk about like
poor people exist.
They get up there and they talk about like deforestation or something. It's like, who the fuck are you? You're the guy that played like a talking like dinosaur in some stupid movie or something.
You made $1 billion this year off of vodka. Why don't you do some shit about the deforestation then? Ryan Reynolds or whoever else probably said some shit. So it's always like, it's a bunch of rich people telling poor people that they can do more about the world's problems, and it's just like, no, you're the people who can do the more about the world's problems. You're in the room right now agreeing that you can do more. So where the fuck is like, so it's just they make me so mad. And I used to.
Double Rocket says, "Oh, sorry, keep going."
I'm just gonna. I used to watch them. Like I used to get drunk with friends and like watch awards shows and then just like tweet mean things about everybody who was in them. But now I don't even have. I just don't even have the bile in me for that.
Yeah, that's kind of fun sometimes. But yeah, I haven't watched one in a while. Double Rocket says, "I love a slow build. Breaking Bad is so good." Yeah, I love Breaking Bad.
Bad's great.
Extra Attack says Breaking Bad had really set a precedent that was established by The Sopranos, and like all drama TV has had to follow that precedent still. Ozark is amazing, but Breaking Bad changed TV.
Yeah, Breaking Bad definitely changed TV. Prestige TV. Oh, Austin and I have been, Austin, friend of the show, guest of the show, frequent person we play Elden Ring with. Austin and I were talking about this, how like every show that like isn't a sitcom has to have like, or sometimes even sitcoms has to have like an arc. There is no like show where it's like, unless it's like a police procedural like CSI, because that's the formula that works for that, but like even those have like an ongoing season arc. But like any show that's a drama has to, or like Star Trek, like Star Trek used to be like every episode was like an episode, and then like maybe there was an arc, but it was like but usually it was like 2 or 3 episodes would have an arc, and they might end the season on that, but otherwise the rest of the show is just like, oh, here's a premise. Here's a premise. You're on a ship in space. Here's a premise. And they would just do that every week. And there was no like overarching like yeah, it was a serial. I guess that's the proper way to put it. But like there was no arc, except for like sometimes episodes would have like an arc over the course of like 3 or 4 or something like that. But no, like Star Trek nowadays doesn't do that. Every season is like one long story, and like a lot of TV shows are like that now. And I'm not saying I wish shows would go back to being like, boop, here's an episode, but like there aren't any shows like that anymore that aren't like a CSI, which is just something interesting to take note of.
That's true. That's a true fact.
True facts. Have you been watching anything else? Have you experienced any other media, aka art, aka culture, aka content? Sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Content. It's been basically a mix of that and Elden Ring taking up my free time.
Ozarks and Elden Ring. I've watched a couple of things. So we talked about the awards show, and I saw that Free Guy was up for an award, and that's not why I ended up watching it. I watched it because the family was in the living room. We had just watched an episode of Marvelous Miss Maisel, and then Mom just put on Free Guy. I was gonna say I fucking hated it.
Why was it so bad?
It was awful. It was like here's the thing. Parts of it made me laugh. Parts of it I enjoyed.
I laughed like a couple times.
There are pockets of like John Cena. I thought like his John Cena was enjoyable in it. Although he did the floss in the credits, which was whatever. But John Cena had a cameo in that movie, and I was like, oh, this is I'm sorry, why am I saying John Cena? Channing Tatum.
I was gonna say I'm like, he was in it. My brain completely erased that. Apparently,
I keep calling Channing Tatum John Cena. They've just John Cena's name has replaced Channing Tatum's in my mind, and I don't know why. Channing Tatum, who is a much more entertaining John Cena. But Channing Tatum is also, anytime I've seen Channing Tatum in a comedic role, he's done fantastic, and so I enjoy him, and his presence in that movie was enjoyable. They also answered a few questions that at first I thought made the movie dumb, but then like they didn't answer for it, which made the movie dumber, but at the same time still like I was like, okay, well I can live with this more than I can live with what I was. So first of all, the movie's terrible. It's hyper cringe. It's basically, it felt like a 63-year-old man who never played video games wrote a movie about video games by consulting with their nephew, who is 10.
That's what Ninja to be in it.
Yeah, and then asked Ninja and like a bunch of other streamers to be in it. That's like the vibe I got from it, because like it was just horribly written and everything was wrong. The characters were annoying, and like it just felt like they made everything like a movie, and it didn't make sense because it was about video games. And so shit would happen and it'd be like, well, this is dumb. This is about video games. This is dumb as shit. Like characters would be like, we're gonna kill this guy in the video game, and it's like, oh no, don't get killed in the video game, and it's just like, but you'll come back. We've seen you come back from dying multiple times because it's a video game. There's no danger in real life. So like even within like even if you're not taking the logistics of like what it's like to make a video game, which they also got entirely wrong, and all that stuff, like that whole movie is just like, the script has already proven why this doesn't make sense, but we just have to accept it, and the movie's doing it. And makes it very frustrating to watch. And then just like, so you've seen it too now at this point, because you said you didn't like it.
I've seen it.
What are your thoughts?
I've seen it. It was cringy and kind of dumb, and I don't know. The story was absurd, but which I can live with, but like just like in a dumb, lazy way.
Yeah. Like they could have made a cool movie with the concept, I think, but they just had to be like, okay, so this is like when in the movies this horrible romance is like shoehorned in. So.
Yep. I don't know. It was just not good.
Yeah, it was terrible. There, so like one of the things that they answered in that movie that I was like, okay, because like before, like you'd meet a character, like, or Ryan Reynolds would meet a player character in the game, and then the character would be very charismatic and be like, blah blah blah. And I was like, none of these players are charismatic, like, unless they are a streamer or, like, professional, like, game player person. But then they show, like, Channing Tatum's character, and then they show, like, the player who's playing as him, and then, like, it's just a completely different person and voice. And, like, they're using, I guess, like, a voice filter, which is dumb answer, but it also at least explains why all of the people are so charismatic in the game. Yeah. So that works for me, I guess. It's, you know, it's the better of the two options that are presented with this terrible movie.
Right.
But yeah, it was just corny and like
super corny. That's like the
super
most thing
corny.
I can say about it.
The some of the like most awful shit was like for everything that had to do with romance in the movie. But also there was like that scene when he's fighting super buff Ryan Reynolds and like he pulls out the shield, the Captain America shield, and then he pulls out like the lightsaber, and the characters in the movie are like, "That's right, motherfucker, that's a lightsaber." Oh, I just wanted to like cringe out of my skin and roll down a hill and like make a blood trail that bled all of my blood down that hill as I rolled down it, and then
embarrassed.
Run in front of a train and get run over by that train. That's how cringy I felt.
Felt embarrassed on behalf of like the human race watching. I
cringed throughout the galaxy and time. I cringed to the very like primordial Eve.
The fish crawling out of the water for the first time cringed.
Exactly. Yeah. There's that meme where it shows like the illustration of the fish crawling out of the water, and they put like the Michael Jordan sad eyes, like crying Michael Jordan eyes over it, and then they put like a caption and a voice over it, and the caption and voice are saying, "Man, my ass had never crawled out of the water or my ass would never have grown legs if I knew there'd be days like this." That's what that moment in the movie made me feel like, was like, wow, evolution was a mistake.
I think it was.
I understand the terrorists now. I understand that, like, why people want to blow us up, and it's because of this movie. That's extreme, I know. I'm canceled. That's it. Pack it up.
Double canceled.
I'm double canceled.
What are you drawing here? Is the little
I was trying to make like a backdrop set, but
oh, okay.
I noticed the little bomb there, so what I'm gonna do is
I'll move him. I'm gonna raise
No, don't keep him there. I'm gonna turn it into a kaiju. I'm turning it into a kaiju movie.
Okay.
This works.
I really struggled drawing that camera. I was just like, oh god, I don't know what goes on.
Cameras are hard. I saw you work on that for a while. But yeah, Free Guy was terrible, man. And like, there's that scene where Taika Waititi's like smashing.
He was really cringy in that too.
He was awful. He's smashing the servers with his lines were terrible. Yo, bruv.
And I know he can be funny, so it's just like made it more. Everybody in that movie has acted successfully in other things. Yeah,
I've seen them do better. But it was clearly like a movie. It was like a lowest common denominator movie about, like, it was a movie about video games made for people who don't play video games. Like,
it was made for tiny children.
Made for tiny children and parents. My mom loved it. So, there you go. But the scene where Taika Waititi's like chopping up the server of the game, like the game servers, with an axe. He's like, "Where are the characters held?" It's like that's not how that shit works, man. Like, that is not how
it just
servers...
deletes like squares out of the game.
It's like, Jesus Christ, this is, and then like they have to do it that way because that makes it like a movie. Like if it was like he has to chop every server with the axe until the game finally goes offline, that ruins like the, oh no, people are disintegrating, I lost my best friend. But it's also like, that might have actually made it a better movie if none of that like stupid, like, it had just every trope that is like parody. It feels like it's parodyable now, like in movies. Like it just felt like the ultimate. It felt like a parody movie, but it wasn't. It was taking itself 100% seriously.
I heard that it won best film last night though. So.
For VFX, I think. I hope.
But no, best film ever made, I believe.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Of all time.
No, I know that's not true, but the fact that it was nominated for anything is why awards are bullshit, and that's my TED Talk. I've also been watching another thing. I've been watching a show called Happy Endings. Well, first of all, do you have anything else you want to say about?
Talking about? I think that probably will break TOS to talk about happy endings. Then.
Yeah, so I went to a massage parlor. No, but do you have anything else you want to say about Free Guy, real quick? I know you've seen it too.
I don't want to talk about it ever again.
Yeah, that movie is better left forgotten.
Treat it like Jeff Bezos and never speak its name again.
Yeah, and that person who burnt down that famous building in ancient Greece. I've been watching Happy Endings because I was like gonna watch something on Hulu to like just have on in the background when I was drawing. And I'd always been kind of interested in checking the show out, but like never like in a rush. But then Hulu was like, we're taking this show off on Friday. And I was like, oh. Well, I do like some of the actors who are in this, so I'm gonna check it out. And have it like mostly ignore it while I draw. So I put that on, and you know, it's fine. It's a relationship. Okay. It's just a relationship comedy.
Oh, okay.
Like a bunch of, it's like, so have you ever seen The New Girl?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Mixology?
No.
Have you ever seen Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23?
No.
Have you ever seen another one?
Yes.
Anyways, this is just like, it came out around the same time as all those shows, and all those shows are pretty much the same. Like, they had the same music, and it's also kind of like The League, but all those shows kind of came out around the same time, and it's about an awful group of like mid-20s to early 30-year-olds who are like either single or married, and like it's about relationships, and like each one like either gets in a new relationship every episode, and like wacky, and oh, here's this fun quirk about relationships. The League, The New Girl, Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. It's all the same shit. It's the same type of shit. Mixology, same type of show. And that's the show. I mean, it's funny, okay, but it's kind of like dumb. I hear it gets better, but I'm mostly ignoring it. But it's fine. I don't know. It's made me laugh sometimes. It's made me chuckle. I don't know. The first episode kind of made me mad because like the show starts out really rough, and it was another one of those shows where I'm just like, this just makes me hate all of television. But it got better.
You stuck it out.
I stuck it out. Well, because I was mostly ignoring it. I just but damn, that first episode was like it felt like eating cardboard, just like flavorless but still unpleasant. But it got better.
Let me tell you, cardboard has a flavor, all right.
Hobo piss. What kind of cardboard are you eating? Cardboard. Yes.
Only the primo organic stuff, you know.
Oh, okay. Straight from the refinery. But yeah, so it's fine. There's like one character on it who's like, he's supposed to be the wacky. Hold on one sec. He's supposed to be sort of like the wacky, like, wow, isn't it crazy that we're doing a character like this sort of character? But like, it just, I don't know if it was progressive at the time, but now it just definitely feels like weird, especially because, so it's like there's this, like one of the characters is like a gay dude, but he's not like flamboyant gay. He's just kind of like, hey dudes, I'm gay. But like, it's one of those things where it's like his main quirk or his main character trait is that he likes to fuck dudes, and he's like gay. Like that's his main, like, I guess he's kind of like also an asshole sometimes. But
the rich character they've built.
Yeah, he hasn't really broken, like, in the second episode, I think he literally has a line where he's just like, wow, dude, that's gay, and I had sex with a dude last night, and it's just like, ha, 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 ha. So the character's kind of like that, and he still hasn't really gotten beyond that, but, like, even when he's saying, like, hey, like, there's an episode where literally he, like his one friend tries to hook him up with, like, a dude who he has nothing in common with, and he's like, what, you think the only thing that, like, gay people, like, you think we have something in common because we like to fuck guys? And he's like, no. He's like, you're a gayist or some shit like that. And it's just like, I'm sure this is all very progressive story writing and stuff back in 2010, but I don't know. I just feel like, and the guy who's playing him is straight in real life, or maybe he's bi, I don't know. But that just feels weird, because it's not. Because it's like this, because like his every like time he's like in a scene.
They're doing gay face.
They're doing gay face a little bit, and like every scene is like, there's like the most recent episode I watched is like about like, oh, should I come out to my parents? And they're like, oh, your parents are like chill, and it's like a whole episode about like people, like the girl characters are pretending to be his girlfriend, and it's just like, man, like it's a whatever show so far. I'm not like, it has moments, but it's whatever. But this character is just like, I don't know, like, I'm not gay, so I don't know if it's the appropriate way to like play a character like this, but it doesn't feel like it. It just kind of feels reductive.
Right. Yeah.
But again, I'm sure it was super. But like, again, like, maybe it was super progressive in 2010. I don't know. But whatever. It doesn't hold up. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's weird when they make somebody's entire identity like just something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show about relationships and dating, so it's also hard to break away from that too, because like the straight character who's like single on the show is like trying to meet a new woman every night, and so like, you know, you could sort of say like, oh, every episode's about him being straight, so, you know. Okay. I don't know if that, maybe because it's a show about relationships and dating, that plays more heavily into it, and that's why that would be such a prevalent sort of, because it's about, you know, it's a show about dating, and who you date is your sexual preference, I guess. So I don't know, but I'm also 7 episodes in or something like that. Again, I hear it gets better, especially in the second season, but also it's mostly there for me to ignore and to draw, and just have something I can occasionally be like, ha, and then get back to drawing. So that's my review.
You really hold it out with shows. You're like, man, that show sucked for the first 18 seasons, but it got good around 19.
Here's the thing. If it's a show that I don't like, then I'll watch the whole show, but like then I'll just draw and I'll get more work done during the show.
Yeah.
Like
probably for the best.
I watched the entire first season of the Dilbert cartoon, and I hated that show, and it never got better. That show was terrible the entire way through. Have you ever watched the Dilbert cartoon?
No.
It's terrible. Like, every episode, like, Dilbert's entire personality is, fuck this. That's it. Like, everything. Like, characters will be like, hey man, hey Dilbert, do you want to go to this rock concert? And Dilbert will be like, what, so I can pay overpriced tickets to see a band play their music not as well? And that's just Dilbert the entire fucking show, and so it's the worst. Just, and like, he's the worst
about everything.
Yeah, and like he's like supposed to be the good guy, I guess, but also like I am given no reason to like him. And the best part of the show is Dogbert, because Dogbert basically does Rick and Morty adventures, and so that's cool. But it was a terrible show, but I got a lot of drawing done. Yeah.
I just listen to music.
I do that too sometimes. I do podcasts. It depends on how I'm feeling. I shake it up. Give me one second. But yeah, so that's I, you know, when I watch a show, if I don't like it, it's something to have out, like, it keeps my brain, it's like I just need enough of my brain occupied so that drawing doesn't feel monotonous, because I love drawing, but I mean sometimes it's just work and your brain needs something, like, if your brain is half occupied, then sometimes you can just like breeze through it and it's better. at points. Because
I tend to just like zone out when I'm working on something. Like
that's what I need. Is it like if I have a show, I can zone out more when I'm like I'll start drawing without thinking about it. Because I really run into issues with art and stuff when I have to think about what I'm doing. And so if I have a show on, because like there's that thing where like have you ever done something wrong your entire life and then one day you just do it without thinking about it and then you've done it right all of a sudden and you're just it unlocks in your mind and you were just like boo boo. Because I've done that. I can't name specifics, but that's happened as recently as this year. Has that happened for you?
Yeah, I can't think of a specific either, but that does. I would say probably yes. But usually once that clicks, you're like, oh God, I was an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sooner?
Like a lot of the times, it'll have to do with like using something that requires two hands, and me usually having a hard time coordinating like how I'm supposed to use the thing, and then I'll come back to it like without, and I'll just like. And it's like a very specific way your brain has to be in to do that, like to start doing something without thinking about it at all, like where your hands just do it automatically. But like I've done something where I used it with something that took two hands, and then I came back to it, and like without thinking about it, I did it, and then realized what I'd just done, and I was just like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Why is my subconscious brain smarter than my conscious brain?
Like tying your shoes or something
like that, but I can't think of specifics. I finally figured it out like just a week ago. But that's happened to me and it's frustrating, but that's how art is. Sometimes I'll be working on a drawing, and if my brain is like occupied enough where I'm not thinking about what my hand is like physically doing, I'll just make some shit, and then like I've looked at it and been like, that's how I should be drawing that thing. Oh my God. So the more I can occupy like that brain space that drawing leaves empty, that's where I'm trying to get, and that's what like TV podcasts, all that stuff can fill that sweet spot. But it's like the mood I'm in.
I get too distracted with video. I don't get much work done because I end up just watching.
Yeah, that's why it helps to be a bad show, is because if it's a good show, like I try to do it, like I can't do The Sopranos, or like I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately too, but like I can't draw. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is my eating food show, and The Sopranos is just a show that I'm gonna have to watch when I have like enough time, I feel like, to like watch a show for an hour. Because I can't draw during those shows. Sitcoms, especially bad sitcoms, like Golden Girls is on my list of things to watch. Golden Girls would be great because it's not really about the visuals, it's about like radio, you know?
People would argue that that's a good sitcom.
It's a great sitcom, but like it's not a visual sitcom. Like Frasier, I got a lot of drawing done during too because I love Frasier, but I didn't need to watch it because like sometimes, like you can kind of figure out when maybe somebody's making a face, or there's a new scene, you want to see like what the scene looks like, or like Miles gets like a new pet, so you look at see what the pet looks like, and like if he gets like a really scared looking dog, you just get to see like the close up. But the thing is, like a lot of those sitcoms, there's not too much like of a visual that you have to worry about because it's shot like from a stage perspective, you know, because it's like a laugh track on a set, so it's not, you're not like, no one's like being
Frasier's
credited.
Apartment well.
I know what Frasier's apartment looks like. I know what Frasier looks like when he's mad.
I can imagine what his dad's wearing.
Yeah, I can picture the dog on his lap. There's just, you know, when it comes to like especially 90s sitcoms, like ones that have a laugh track, ones that are shot in front of a studio audience, it's not so much about what you're seeing all the time, and if it is, then somebody will have not said something and the audience is cracking up, and so you can just be like, look over real quick, and look, he's
true.
Making a funny face, and then you go back to drawing.
Frasier is one that I put on sometimes while working.
Yeah, and so it's like specific shows, and that's why Happy Endings, it's not completely visual all the time, so and because I'm not like the biggest fan of it right now, it's great. If it becomes more engaging, maybe I'll have to save it for food time. It's not a very long show, so I'm already through most of it, I think.
Food time happens every day, so
food time happens a lot.
Lots of opportunity. You've been playing a lot of Doom lately, so we've mentioned it a few times on your stream. How's that coming along? Have you beat it yet?
Yeah, I'm done for now.
You're completely done. Did you beat the secret levels and stuff?
I beat the secret levels.
Wow.
I beat all of the official Doom content. Now there's like these the version that they put on Steam. They updated it once Doom Eternal was coming out, like with a modern PC version of Doom to make it easier, so you're not running it on like DOSBox or something like that. And with that, they included some official. Oh, hey, we got a wow. But with that Steam version, like update, they included a bunch of like official content mods or whatever. So it's like mods of the, like custom levels of the game, but like you can download them inside of Doom. So I've got a bunch of those, and I'm gonna play those eventually. But I'm taking a break. I'm starting to see Doom levels everywhere I go, so I'm gonna take a break from the Doom for a little bit.
I would play something different probably.
Yeah, just for like, so I don't get sick of it, and so people don't get sick of it. But yeah, that's the Doom, and so I'm like now I'm done with that for a little while. So I'm probably gonna play some like Planet Coaster, some The Sims, things like this.
Next question.
Yeah. And yeah, when I feel like I'm ready to go dip back into it, play those mods.
I've been considering Half-Life Alyx has a lot of community stuff.
Oh,
I
interesting.
feel like that engine would be cool to play around with, just because it's
for sure.
It's really cool. Or at least Half-Life Alyx was amazing. I really enjoyed it personally. Yeah, so you know, I might go back into the VRs.
I think it's worth it. I think you know, I told you before, but if you were to stream it, like I think people would get like a kick out of that.
I'm planning on doing it. I just haven't yet. Yeah,
that's fine. It takes, you know, it took me a little bit to get set up, and streaming's hard work. Streaming is it's not all, you know, it's not all sunshine and roses, folks.
I was thinking of making either I could film myself playing VR and people could watch me like stumble around my room crashing into stuff, or I could just make like a puppet or something.
That's true.
Like a VTube puppet or something, like just a DrawBomb with like a VR helmet on or something.
Yeah. I was curious because I would always see like those videos that people would take where they were playing VR, but they have like themselves in the game but positioned perfectly where they would be in the VR game.
Yeah, that's strange to me. I don't know. I have to imagine the game has to have some kind of
I watched a video on it, like somebody explained the whole process for doing it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like game specific, because I think Beat Saber has a version for that, but I think you can also do that. I think maybe the VR just has a version of that you can do. I think it's just like a VR setting that they include. I'm not sure, but I remember watching it and being like, oh, and having all my questions answered, but you know, it's never used it, so that shit shunted out of my brain pretty quickly.
Shit shunt. I don't have the space to pull that off. We could always stream that one Panoptic game sometime. That was really fun.
That was a good time.
Just to describe it for the audience, basically it's like one person has like a few goals to get, like end goals to get to, and it's like a hide and seek. There's a giant head that's the person in VR, and then the other person is playing as like a person in, I'm probably describing this really terribly. There's like 1,000 models. They're like small little characters, and one person's trying to hide. They're all NPCs, but the person playing on the computer is trying to hide among them. And then the person in VR is like this giant head looking around for the fake one. And so you're looking for one that's acting a little weird. You basically shoot like lasers out of your eyes at them to like blow them up if you spot them.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun. We were having some fun with it.
I got pretty good at fooling you.
You did. Me and Morgan played a good amount of it, and I found that having played with you trained me to like sniper pretty easily.
That's pretty funny.
Then she started to like learn how to trick me too. But it's pretty fun. Some stuff in the chat.
Yeah.
Captain Sheepy says, is that the same backdrop they used from the roof scenes in the room?
Captain Sheepy!
Yes, I believe it is. Captain Sheepy! Welcome.
Captain Sheepy, oh Captain, my Captain!
Extra Tech RPG says, I always flirt with the idea of daily streaming, but then I realize that I don't anything every day, and I also am bad at video games. Well, you know. No, I think a big part of the community watches people who are very good at games, but I don't think that's the main requirement. I think it's just being entertaining to watch.
You just gotta be charismatic and friendly with the chat and grow a community of people who care about you as a person. That's what I found.
See, that's where I struggle. Znewt says he's been streaming himself being bad at games. It's a fun time. So there you go. Captain Sheepy says there's a VTuber that does a lot of VR stuff where they have a 3D model that is motion tracked in the corner as well as whatever game she's playing. That's cool.
That is cool.
It's kind of fun seeing this 3D model like point finger guns around you while you watch horseshoes and hand grenades gameplay.
I don't know about that game.
Trying to visualize it. I think it's like a gun sandbox type thing. I haven't played it, but it's a VR game. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what I've been told. The VR stuff is not that old. I don't know what I just did there. But, yeah, there's all sorts of fun to be had with VR. That world is foreign to me.
Yeah, it's only fairly new to me. I just got stuff recently. I've been fiddling around with it here and there.
Well, it's definitely something cool to fiddle with.
Yeah. Captain Sheepy says it sort of has like a roguelike dungeon mode where you run around corridors and get random guns while funny hot dogs shoot at you.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Sounds like my kind of game.
Yeah.
I love funny hot dogs.
Me too. Funny hot dogs are the best kind of hot dogs.
I agree. Some people might argue that fact, but I totally agree.
I don't know what I've been told. Eat these hot dogs, they not old. I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Please kill me. No, but, gosh. I've got something I want to complain about. Can I complain?
You?
I do.
What's that?
So, like, I got a new phone, earlier in the year, actually late last year, like, right. Oh, jeez, I stink.
And tough crowd.
But, yeah, so I got a phone, around Christmas time last year, and, so I've been playing, like, my phone was so old that I didn't have live photo, which are like those, like, photos where it's like, it takes like seconds before and after of the photo, I guess, so you could pick like the best moment that you choose for the photo. I don't know. Anyways, my old phone didn't have that, but my old phone just like stopped being able to play most of the games on the App Store. Like, I was confined to like puzzle games that were old, because games would just start being like, oh, you have to have iOS blank 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 to play this game, and like my phone could no longer upgrade to any more iOSs. I was locked out. So I got the new phone and I downloaded a bunch of new games to play because I had time to kill, and so I wanted to play some phone games. And wow, the advertisements you get for other phone games on like free phone games are man,
relentless.
Relentless, but also morally questionable, and just traumatizing almost. They're awful.
Give some examples.
Well, here's the thing. There's like 20 games, and like they all are the same game, and they all have the same commercial, but like different. Like, I've seen ads for like these games where it's like the game is clearly like Bejeweled or like Candy Crush, or like just like, you know, you like have items and you swap them, and then like that creates a pattern and those items disappear, and then You know what I mean? Like that type of game.
Right.
And they're all that type of game, but with like different like twists on them. But all the twists are the same. Like some of them are like, hey, you solve the Candy Crush, and then you get to give a person a makeover. And then the other ones are like, hey, you solved the Candy Crush, and then you get to give a house a makeover. And then the other one's like, hey, you Candy Crush, and then this king doesn't get impaled on a bunch of spikes or something, I guess. I don't know. I haven't played that one. But like these games, like the ads, yeah, but like there's 30 versions of each of these games, and they all like, if it's not a king, then it's a bear, because it's like for Toy Blast or whatever the fuck that one's called. But like I've seen the same commercial for like both the games. Like the one is, hey, the king is being pushed by these puzzles, and he's gonna fall into some spikes. You gotta solve the puzzles, but the person who's playing this example of the game is terrible at it because they're so slow and doing the wrong obvious, like the answers are obvious, but this person is doing it wrong. Oh no, the king has fallen onto the spikes. He's hurt. Download, play our game. And then I saw for Toy Blast, I think is what it's called. This is our cartoon bear mascot. He's being pushed by the puzzle blocks onto some spikes. But the person who's playing our game is terrible at it. Oh no, he fall onto spikes and he die. But he's actually just mad at you. You download our game, Toy Blast. And like, those are the same ad. Like, it's the same ad, the same timing, the same, like, I think all these like games are made by the same company. And also the same company is making all of the ads for all, because I've actually had,
they're casting a wide net.
They're casting the widest net possible, but for like 80 versions of the same game. And like these ads are so weird because like a lot of them for like 4 different types of game are like, here's this woman, she's pregnant. Oh, but her boyfriend, who is in his underwear for no reason, is terrible. Oh, and they have a crying daughter, and the husband is terrible. And he leaves with a floozy. And now the wife must strike out on her own with child. But oh no, it's a log cabin in a blustery winter storm. Can you repair the windows on time? No, because you used duct tape. And she freezes to death now, and her child dies. Download our game. I do know the ones you're talking about. I do know the ones you're talking about. And there's 8 games with the same ad and the same models, but like differently composed sometimes. And like they're constantly. I got one where it advertised one game, and then the splash screen to download the game was a completely different game, but the same one with ads always. And so that's why the conspiracy happened, but. These ads are terrible.
I genuinely don't understand why are phone games so bad. Never before in all of history has everybody had, like literally everybody has the same console, so to speak, or computer, like in their pocket. Like everybody's a potential customer, and yet there's not good phone games.
Well, it's because you either pay money for the good one, or there's like a free one that is good in concept and is unique, and then it does well, and then every game that's on a phone is now that game for the next like 20 years. And that happens like just for every type of game that has been made for the phone. But also, I mean, I would
even be willing to spend money. I feel like there's just not really good ones even for that.
Well, all of that, they're all scams. Like, if they have microtransactions, they're all like, hey, here's a game. It's basically a job, but you can also pay us money to get the bullshit cosmetic that you're going to use on this game that is basically Bejeweled or Candy Crush, but made more frustrating. And it's all a scam, and, like, you spend, like, $100 to get, like, 30... Like, I've done the math on some of these. There's a SpongeBob cooking game I play, which is a clone of 80 other cooking games that I also get ads for. But those are by far the least.
Krabby Patties.
Yeah, well, you cook a bunch of different types of things. Like now I'm on a pasta level, but you cook these items by like tapping things, and they go on a burner, and then they take them out on time depending on how upgraded the burner is, and then you serve them and like to the customers before they get mad from waiting for so long. It's like a whole time management thing. It's kind of fun, and like. In order to like continue in the game, you have to upgrade your things. You're just not going to beat the levels, so you use gems, and gems you either pay money for, or you do like ad shit to get, or like you do like in-game, like you beat 15 levels in a row without losing, or etc., etc. And this game is where I get most of these terrible ads. But I did the math, and if you pay like $10, you get like 50 gems. You go through 50 gems before you're finished with like any of the levels in the game. So it's a complete scam. Like you're paying for like not even the levels of this game. So the shit is barely like I play this game and I have fun with it, but like I would never pay money for this scam of a game.
I've only ever bought like a few hundred gems.
You've only ever bought a few hundred on a specific game?
I was saying you've only bought a few hundred gems on SpongeBob Cooking Mama game.
I've done a bunch of, I click a bunch of ads because they have this setup where if you watch an ad you get a gem, or if you click an ad you get a gem. So like if I'm watching
like those make me turn the game off when they have that mechanic where they're like,
oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, do you want to keep playing? Watch this ad. And I'm like, don't you want me to play your game? No,
Yeah.
I'll just turn you off. I'll just delete this, I guess.
Here's the thing. What I do is I click it to watch an ad, and then I go and I'm watching TV actually as I'm playing the thing. So like I'm watching TV, the ad's playing on my phone, I get the gem. I haven't consumed any of what the hell they want to advertise to me. But I guarantee, like, if they can make phones scroll with your eyes, like by you looking up and down, like they're gonna make it eventually where it's like you have to have your eyeballs on the phone screen as you watch the ad eventually, and that's when I stop. I'm never gonna play like a game if that starts becoming
god awful.
I guarantee they're gonna do it eventually. They're gonna try it at least.
Let's see, we got some
comments,
conversation in the chat. Excuse me. Extra Text says a recent mobile game ad trend has been filming gameplay of somebody being unbelievably bad with some TikTok caption like new high score, and then you can only click the tiniest X in the corner to close it.
The X's are such a fucking scam.
Sometimes they're not even real. Sometimes they're just part of the video. Sometimes
they're fake. There's also one I saw, so like you can usually tell when they're fake now because they are a different style than like the actual X's that you click. But there is one I noticed where, so like in the SpongeBob game, the X is just a white X in the corner, and I've seen some try and fake being that X, but they get it wrong, they get the position wrong because they're like just casting a wide net. So like this is the same mobile ad probably sent out to 80 games that have like different X's, but the one was clever. And it didn't trick me, but I was just like, ooh, this could trick somebody who was not as observant, or who's just not, like, who's a child.
Not as much of a genius as I am.
Exactly. But it's like, there's a spider web in the corner, and the spider web is like, the spider web pattern happens just so that the X falls on, like, where the spider web is. And so it's like trying to cover up the X by having a spider web as part of the illustration. And I'm like, oof. So dirty. It feels dirty, like that I participated.
Yeah, like outright a scam. It's weird. Yeah, I think everybody kind of knows at this point the whole thing about like the few people that are willing to spend money on these games justify them existing.
Yeah. And Jim Sterling.
It's a shame that that's so successful because.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a shame that that model is so successful because it's just that's all there is out there. It's like everything.
James Stephanie Sterling talks a lot about like shady practices in like video games, mostly like not free mobile games, but like games you actually pay money for, which are doing similar tactics anyways, which is awful. But yeah, phone games are fucking scams. And it's like meant to like, they're meant so that you accidentally pay a bunch of money for like, or your kid gets a game. Like the appeal is you have a kid, your kid plays the game on the phone. The phone has your credit card info, so the kid is like, oh, these items, I'll just buy some, and then the kid spends your credit card money, and a lot of times the kid will spend $1 bajillion, and then like you've spent some money on a game, and sometimes the mobile game will not give you the money back, and you've now spent $200 on like watermelons in a game.
Gems.
Yeah.
It's that's kind of the whole idea. I'm surprised that they don't just make like, even if it was like $50, make a really good phone game.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, there are good phone games. There are good phone games that are like $5. That's how you get the ones that are actually worth a damn. And sometimes some free ones are good. And I have one. It's like an RPG. It's like a turn-based Final Fantasy style RPG. The story sucks, but whatever. It's a fun turn-based battle game. But it plays like a classic Final Fantasy game with like movement and like a world and items and like a party system, all that good stuff. And it's free. It's just that once you get past the first chapter, they put a little ad in like the safe zones at the bottom of your screen. But like otherwise, you could just play the game without paying any money, and it's like totally doable. You don't have to watch ads. It's doable, and I'm like, this is nice. This is a good compromise, and I'm okay with this. And it makes me more encouraged to keep playing the game because it doesn't feel like they're like going like, let's get their money. So yeah, I'm more willing to sort of participate with a game that doesn't feel like I can smell the greed off of it.
Right.
The short while where I had a Kindle Fire, says Captain Sheepy, thing didn't last long. It cracked out in like a year. The only actual mobile game I ever sat down and played was Best Friends. I think I played that one too. I enjoyed that one. I had a Kindle for a little bit as well, a Kindle Fire to be exact. They're trying to appeal to children and old people who may not be all mentally there and have unchecked access to a credit card. Real vile predatory shit. Yep, that's what. Yep. The guys have very strange ads. I saw an ad, says Captain Sheepy, where it was a near-naked stranded guy in a desert finding a beach whale, and he cries a literal lake for it, and then he like does the Gangnam style dance while all the ancient Egypt is built all around him. I believe I have seen that one, and you get a lot of the same ones, but then you get the real outside oddball ones like that. While the whale blows gold coins out its hole. Extra taxes, go to r/fuck-homescapes. It's a bunch of people posting screenshots of those ads where the characters are in terrible situations and the captain is like, good, fuck you, you miserable dick. That's awesome. Xenud says, ads in games should be used to boost rewards or give currency, but to completely stop the game to make me watch an ad, and then that's an uninstall.
I hate it. Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's awful. Hot take, there should be no ads in games, agreed. Spicy take, if the game is not free to play but costs money to play, it should not have microtransactions. I agree 100%. It's the modern Jamster. Get this ringtone now by subscribing for $20.99 per month. Yeah. It's all such a scam. I did get a month free of Apple Arcade, which is normally something you would pay money for to get access to a bunch of, like, I guess, premium games. So I'm going to test out the games on that for my free month, and I'm assuming that that's at least slightly less awful. I'll report back when I've played any of them. It was originally going to be 3 months, but something weird happened with when I was redeeming the code, and so now I just have the month. But yeah, so we're going to find out about the Apple Arcade games. But yeah, those Homescapes ads and like Toy Blast and like, they're all just the same, but also terrible. Although there is one funny one. There is a very, very funny one, and I don't think it's intentionally funny, or maybe it is because of the way it's done. But it's the exact. It's like another one where like the woman eventually is like taking care of a kid while her shitty husband and her kitchen's exploding or some shit like that, and like, oh no, you used the hammer on the sink. But like, one of the things that causes one of the problems in the kitchen is it shows the husband in a wheelchair reading the newspaper, and then like a dog walks up to the husband, and then in like super cartoony fashion, the husband leaps out of the wheelchair, picks up the ball off the ground in like one motion, and then just whips it. It fucking breaks a window or some shit in the house. And it's the funniest shit ever, and it's like so goofy. That gets a genuine chuckle out of me every time, and it's for like, again, one of these awful games, but like cracks me up.
One of the mobile commercials that I particularly hate that I see a lot of is the fake streamer.
Yes.
Somebody's like, oh man, it's like he's streaming the game. He's like, hey everyone, we're back, and today we're playing this game that's really cool. It's supposed to be really fun. Oh, I love this game, and today we're doing level 3. Okay, it's like fake.
Yeah, it's the word, and like it's terrible acting.
I hate it.
I love the ones where it's like, yo, what's up? It's Snoop Dogg, and I'm playing bingo nights.
I love that. That's like you just pay him on Fiverr or something, like, or
yeah, on Cameo.
Cameo.
Yeah.
He's like clearly like just like in like a dark room with like a shitty phone quality like video.
Yo, it's Ice Cube. I'm playing bingo nights here. I'm getting $200 a day on bingo. It's pretty crazy. And it's like, damn, Ice Cube's really hit hard if he's playing bingo for money. That's not what's happening.
Snoop Dogg, isn't it?
Well, I've seen Snoop Dogg. I've seen Ice Cube.
Oh, wow.
I've seen.
They all love bingo nights.
They love bingo. I've seen like some weird actors like being like advertising on these bingo games, and it's.
I remember 90s rap often talking about bingo. It was incorporated in a lot of songs.
Yeah. I would, if I was a smarter man, I would change some rap lyrics right now to be about bingo. But words fail me. This is something I don't understand. How I could get bingo, man. Here we go.
Boy, it's a good show. I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
I thought I'd like to mention that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would like to play more things on my phone, but yeah, I just don't. Nothing's really that good. Nothing, even like the stuff you pay for is not that good. I feel like most.
You know, I've always, like, when I was a kid, I always wanted a Game Boy because I was always in a situation where, like, I was somewhere and I had no agency, and like a Game Boy would have been perfect because then I can at least be entertained. So like a phone game would make sense, but like now that I'm an adult, like there's rarely a time where I'm at a place and I'm not involved in some way. Like I'm never, like it's never like my parents are dragging me to Home Depot and I'm just like, oh my God, you guys are looking at doorbells for an hour. It's like, no, I'm at Home Depot
stuck in
and
a car or laying in bed. That's times that I would play a phone game.
Or pooping. Let's be honest. There's one of my favorite TikToks is like a video of a guy and he's singing a song called "TikToks for Pooping," and it's true. Yeah, like there's very like if I'm in a car, it's like a 1 in 2 chance that I'm driving it, or at least when I was in a relationship, that was a situation where it's like a 1 in 2 chance that I was driving the car. But like if I wasn't driving the car, I can't be on a Game Boy anyways, because then my girlfriend's gonna be pissed off that I'm ignoring her as she's driving. So you can't play on a Game Boy during that. So as an adult, the situations where like if I'm at home and I'm gonna play a video game, I'm probably gonna play it on my computer, you know, because there's just better games.
That's true.
That's where all the good games are. So there's not like, as an adult, like as a kid I never had a Game Boy. As an adult, I have one over there and I have a full Pokemon game on it. I've never had like a solid like 5 hours where it's like, oh, I should. It's like Game Boy, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Like I have the Switch and I rarely play it off the dock.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. But it's just like I don't know, as an adult, do I wish that there were more times where somebody was just like, okay, like we're gonna go your mom's talking to her friend outside of church now, you're gonna be here for an hour. Like that shit don't happen. As a kid, I was just in the car waiting as my mom talked to her friend for a fucking hour outside of church, and I was just like, use a phone.
Need a Game Boy.
Give me a Game Boy or use a phone.
Someone get me a phone that has games on it.
Yeah. As a kid, oh my God. Having like a phone with games on it as a kid would have been like a blessing. I probably would have been frustrated by the same shit that frustrates me about phone games nowadays. And dumber about it because I was a child. But man.
Or you could just use your parents' credit card information to buy watermelons.
That's so true. And I should have, and I would have. And I would have. No, but, yeah, so anyways, phone ads, they're terrible.
They're weird.
They're so weird, man. It's like, I've watched so many people freeze to death, or like, explode.
Yeah, that's a common theme. Or get dropped into like poison or lava.
Yeah, or like get dropped into poison or lava, get set on fire and just burn to death. It's or just like drown and just like watch them drown. It's always for a Bejeweled ad or like a one of those ones.
Game is what?
Yeah, Homescapes. So there was one that I was like very curious about where it was like a woman is caked in mud and her husband leaves her for somebody else. And I was just like, there's no way the person's literally fucking caked in mud. And when I start this game up, they're not going to be caked in mud. And it's not going to be like, you picked the wrong thing. They're still caked in mud now. It's like, no, it's I choose their hair. And then they're like, oh, I love it. And I checked, and that's exactly what happens, is you play Bejeweled, and then you give somebody a makeover, and they're like, oh, I love my hair. And they're never caked in mud. It's like...
They lied to you.
They're lying to me. But also,
I'm gonna leave a bad review.
Why are multiple games faking being covered in mud as like an issue you deal with for the same game? It's just
mud's everywhere, bro. You know, it could happen to you.
I've never. It's just so weird.
Extra Attack says, I used to play Game Boy everywhere. I have one very crystallized memory of my family telling me to go outside and get some fresh air, so I just sat on the front porch playing Game Boy. Yeah, I also played mine a lot too.
That would have been me. That's why my parents didn't get me a Game Boy.
I played a lot. Car rides and like we'd go to like, I don't know, my brother played sports because he was physical while I was sitting there staring at my little screen. But I was not interested, so I would just play Game Boy during all that stuff.
Yeah. You know what I had to do? I would borrow like $20 from my mom, and I'd hit the fucking snack stand and just like down hot dogs and like corn dogs for like 2 hours because I had nothing else going on.
Hot dogs
I was like,
and corn dog.
I was playing Half-Life an hour ago. Oh.
You know, corn dogs are hot dogs.
Whoa.
You know this?
Yeah, that's true. There.
Hear this?
Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
Captain Cheapy says, I liked having a 3DS and playing Mario Kart 7 online while sitting at a restaurant. Yeah, I never really did it in the restaurant. I'm not sure my parents would have let me do that.
They would not have. They would have been like, talk to the people who are here. That's the thing, is they never gave me a Game Boy because they were just like, no, we want you present at this Home Depot or this family function.
Why? I spent a lot of time in hardware stores as a kid, like waiting.
A lot of time outside of churches, or just the church that we went to, as the family would like talk to like the deacon. Whatever else.
Hardware stores have like a very distinct aura, like the smell and the lighting.
All that glue.
Spent a lot of time there.
It's also like, as a kid, there is nothing for you at a Home Depot. There's nothing cool to look at. It's fucking like doorbells and toilets, and as a child, you're like, there's a bunch of fucking doorbells and toilets. I don't get it.
It's like an aisle. It's just like 1,000 light bulbs of different kinds.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to like touch or poop in any. You can't poop in any of the toilets. Can't like touch, press all the doorknobs. There's nothing.
They don't even ring.
They don't ring. This is like the most boring store ever. At least IKEA has like fake rooms made out of all this stuff. No, it's a wall of doorbells.
When you find the wall of doorbells as a kid, you're like, finally, I found something interesting here. And then you press them, and you're immediately disappointed.
Yep. There's one doorbell that works, and it's to show off like a fancy ringtone one, and you press it once, and then your mom's like, fucking stop it.
Poor mom. My dad is like did a lot of woodworking stuff, so we were always there. Anytime there was any home improvement, he like did it. So.
Oh yeah, my parents
lived
did.
At the hardware store.
I was at Home Depot a lot. A whole lot. And I hated it.
When
Really hate
there used to be a hardware store, like a chain one called Handy Andy. We went there a lot.
Andy,
It was like
Andy.
the mascot was this like big ginger man. And I suppose he's handy. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. And then there's Builder Square, and that one's no longer existing either.
Oh no. Well, all the mom and pops are gone now. It's all corporations.
These were not mom and pops. These were like Home Depot-esque places.
Oh.
But they've faded away. So, yeah.
Captain Sheepy says that they were an adult when they were playing Mario Kart in the restaurant, which is more fine because then
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you set the tone for
And
that.
I'm not saying it's not fine for a kid to do that either. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just my parents wouldn't have allowed it, I don't think.
A lot of parents would be like, hey, get the fuck off of your Game Boy, be here. Family.
Taking the atmosphere of this TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Instead of playing your Game Boy, stare at the weird like bicycle and license plates and pictures of the Beatles on the wall.
Yeah, whenever you went to a restaurant with like goofy shit on the walls, did you play I Spy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the only thing you could do. I think we did that when I visited that tiki restaurant. Can we play I Spy?
We were looking for specific tikis because there's like a wall of like hundreds of them.
Yeah. So I still do that. I still play I Spy in like restaurants with goofy shit on the walls.
Goofy shit on the walls in a restaurant is such a popular thing. Maybe more so back then, but I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just easy decorating.
Yeah, it's easy decorating. I guess it's like conversation pieces. I have to assume it cost money. Like I doubt they got a warehouse with a bunch of goofy shit in it, and they were just like, oh, let's make a restaurant. So they had to like go out and buy that stuff, but they probably like went to a Spencer's and found a bunch of goofy trophies and like plaques and stuff, and then
They go to not an antique, like a flea market, and they're just like, I'll take it all.
Yeah.
Load up the trailer. All right, hang it all on the wall.
Yep.
Put that portrait of Elvis next to the big mouth Billy Bass, next to the weird movie clapper for no reason, next to the bicycle wheel.
Yeah, the bicycle. There was always a bicycle wheel. But yeah, it was like each wall would be like a different like page from like an I Spy book or something. Or was that were those books I Spy?
Yeah, they were.
Which is probably what gave us the idea. Yeah, I love those books. I still do.
Yeah, they were fun.
They were impressive little like dioramas put together.
Yeah, it'd be fun to make those.
Yeah. Let's see. I'd take a picture of my meal with the 3DS camera and play Shin Megami Tensei 4. I recall I took it to a Ruby Tuesday and got a burger. Hell yeah. Old-timey tennis rackets or snowshoes. Oh yeah, true. There was always
yeah, definitely the snowshoes.
Yep.
Big time.
Goofy shit on walls.
These very specific things. Maybe they are all more similar than they appear, but
they
it
might
seems
come
like it'd
in
be
a
harder
pack.
to make them. Yeah, probably.
Because like
we
here's
bought
the
up
thing.
all the old snowshoes in America.
There are so many things that like businesses do that are meant to look hodgepodge or like very like sort of like not planned out meticulously and everything like that, but they're all like there's so frequently it's like that's the ruse, is like it's actually been all planned. So like I could almost bet that there was like a fucking like deal. You get like a crate of like the same props for your goofy shit on the wall restaurant and like just 80 restaurants or 800 restaurants like bought this kit and some company made their nut off of like selling bicycle wheel, snowshoes / tennis rackets.
I like to think they did like a crowdsourcing thing where they have like a person, they're like, tell me how each of these items makes you feel from 1 to 10, and they just hold up like a snowshoe.
Yeah.
Like there's a painting of like a weird painting of Elvis, and then there's it's like a picture of Marilyn Monroe a bicycle wheel, and people are like, 6.5 for that one. Like, okay, all right.
Okay. As a conversation piece over mozzarella sticks, how would you rate this?
Yeah, does this make you want Buffalo Poppers more or less?
Does this make you want the Platz's chicken wings? A whole fucking canoe just hanging on the wall.
There's a canoe. There's canoes, definitely.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some of the other. Trying to teleport back to that place that I spent a lot of time
such
at.
a specific era. I don't think like restaurants do that as much nowadays. It's usually a more unified theme.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of trash.
Bunch of fucking trash on the wall. Hey, the trash has got to go somewhere. Now it's all in a landfill.
Yeah, I was gonna say we took a dump, and we made we like took what was on the floor and made it go on the walls. Welcome to Applebee's.
Yeah. Enjoy. Have a watered down drink. Have a Long Island iced tea that won't get you drunk. I've tried.
I saw somebody. I don't know if it's Applebee's. It's one of those places, but they have like they have like a special tall beer that you can get any of. It comes in like a bigger glass, but somebody like took the big glass and poured it into a pint glass, and it's like only like a teeny bit more. It's just the shape of the glass makes it seem
Jesus
big. What
of
a
course.
scam!
It's a scam. Oh, it's like I forget which company it is that makes this bag of chips, but like I legitimately bought a bag of chips, and like the air in it was at least a third of the bag. Like it was like the amount of chip I was robbed of was, and I knew it. Like you can tell like how much of that is just fucking air because like it doesn't feel like chips. But when you fucking like open it, it's still like so disheartening when you're just like, God.
We've reached the old man complaint section of this episode of DrawBomb. You know,
this is the section.
My drink doesn't have enough drink in it, and my chips. Why don't they fill up the chips all the way? It's just bullshit. This
is like hack stand-up comic material right here. Hey, you ever open up a bag of chips and there's not enough chips? Where'd all the chips go?
Good. That's good.
Where'd all the chips go? Thank you. Goofy shit on the restaurant. Okay, calm down. The goofy shit on the restaurant walls. I'm sorry, that's when I took my dick out. But yeah, it's just we definitely got a vibe going on tonight with the subject matter.
Extra Tech says that's a good Charlie Day. I think referring to your screeching Jerry Seinfeld-esque thing you were doing.
Yeah. Are your cats making too much noise all the time?
Are we good with this drawing?
Kittens. I'm all good, yeah.
All right. Ship it, book it, done.
Oh man. Have we talked
about studio audience at a movie thing?
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
We talked about what?
Oh, I was gonna say, did we talk about anything that brings to mind a stark visual image aside from those awful? You know what? Let's do a rock paper pencil.
Okay.
Let's
Sounds
make
great.
the worst, or like the most soulless iPhone ad or phone game ad. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm trying to think how I could illustrate that in a illustration.
Tell you what, we're gonna take like a 5-minute break. I gotta go to the bathroom anyways. We'll think on it, we'll ruminate, and then we'll be back. How does that sound?
Okay, sounds great.
Alrighty, folks, we'll be back. Back.
Hello.
Hey ho. So, either right before or during this Be Right Back, we got a redeem for Draw Willem Dafoe. So since we're talking about doing rock paper pencil, we're going to include Willem Dafoe in our ads in one way or another. I think that's just on brand for us anyways. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that seems fair.
So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, and he also says from memory, which
like,
I mean,
like Scyther, but even more difficult.
yeah. Which I'm not sure
Willem Dafoe, I feel like burns into your memory more than Scyther does.
Yes, yeah. I guess I don't know how I feel about that because I want us to be able to draw. If we're gonna draw Willem Dafoe in these ads, but also I don't want to get too caught up on Willem Dafoe, I guess. So draw him from memory, whatever.
Okay. Then decided.
It is decided. Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa, boy.
Whoa. Whoa.
Great line. Hard.
Straight lines
Vision streams of passion.
going through my mind.
That was just on last night.
Really?
Like we were playing music in our house because we had Morgan's parents over, and after they left, that one came on, and I ended up like turning it up really loud.
It's a great song. That fucking part where it's like that part's a fucking jam.
Good one.
Yeah.
Extra Attack says, "Let it be an implied Defoe."
Interesting. Willem the implication. Wait. You say your pun first, and then I'll say my pun.
Willem or won'tum?
Yeah. Willem or Willadontum.
Wow.
Yeah, no, but I said Willem the. What did I even say? I think I said like
The implication.
The implication, yeah.
Gosh.
But gosh. So yeah, make a ridiculous.
I have no idea what I'm gonna draw for this with that phone app thing, but I'll figure it out.
Add. Defoe. Okay. Let's go for it.
All right. I'm gonna hide your layers.
Yes. I don't see what you're drawing anymore.
Because I haven't drawn anything yet.
What? Okay. I'll fight you. Okay, so gosh.
Top Cat coming at you live with Head Comet Radio. Just got the new track from Superfly Arturo. Thought I'd play it for you guys next. Here we go.
You might be muted.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking to myself.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure how to implement Willem Dafoe. I can see your drawing. You're on title.
Oh, I'm on title.
You idiot!
Oh no! Well, I hope you didn't understand what I was drawing.
No, I think everybody knows what you were trying to make now. You ruined it.
Well, everyone can see what I'm drawing anyways.
You ruined it.
You ruined it. No, it's fine. No one could tell what I was drawing. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, I think I have a pretty solid idea of what I want to do. Is it a good idea? Probably not.
Same, but not stopping me. That's never stopped me.
Yeah, I mean, neither are these iPhone ads that I see, so it's...
Paid to make them.
Yeah, somebody got paid. and they took that money and they fucking ran.
New Superfly Arturo track you've all been waiting for. We actually have Superfly on the radio.
It's weird thinking about that stuff, like
Review,
just making
can you
it
tell us
out there.
what it's like to make music, Superfly?
And like, here's the weird thing, is I've noticed a progression in some of them. In that, so like, there's this one where it's a woman and she's in a courthouse and she's pregnant, and there's like her weird boyfriend is like she looks like Elsa, but like repurposed hair and body. Like they took her face and then give it different hair, but barely. Like they just didn't give her the long ponytail shit. Like it was like the front hair.
Yeah.
Then they gave her like a pregnant person's body, and then she's standing next to like some dude who's like in his underwear in the courthouse, and the judge is like awarding her the kids, and the husband can go free without like any of the kids that he doesn't want or whatever. And like there's a little daughter who like tugs at her shirt, and she's like, "Wah," and she looks like a demon. And I've noticed like, so the ad is played, but like sometimes it's like a different, like it's the same exact sequence of events but like different character models, but also some of them it's like the same character models but they've been updated so they look a little cleaner, like they were unfinished before and now they've gotten an update so the kid looks even more like a demon, but like with like smoother pixels and things like that. And it's like it's just weird. It's like they're putting out unfinished versions of the ad, and then as they just like keep like improving the graphics of the ad or like actually finishing it, they're just updating the ads then with that version of it. And it's like, also who's getting the money to make all of these ads? Like, is a computer, it's like those videos that Netflix has been putting out where it's like, we told a robot about how to make a movie, and this is a movie made by a robot, and then it's like a weird 3D like uncanny valley like shit. But like, I'm supposed to believe that this is made by a human, these ads, but it feels like another one of those, it was made by an algorithm from like top to bottom. Like there's a bunch of YouTube videos of like, they take like nursery rhymes and then they replace like one of the words with like Elsa and then like they have like a computer 3D animate like a movie and like just replace the models and words with like different like keywords that people search in hopes of like cheating the algorithm and like getting a bajillion views and like ad money and stuff like that. And that's what those ads feel like, is it feels like a computer is just like plugging in shit. And like the game itself is designed by a computer, it feels like. It's the weirdest thing.
It's funny that we're talking about this. They're legit, I think today or yesterday saw this ad where it was the same thing. It was for a game, but it was like, once again, it was a combination of all the things we're complaining about. It was like this guy who was like pretending to be a streamer. And he's like, "Hey gamers, you know how you always see that ad for that one game that looks like this?" He's like, "But it doesn't actually exist. Well, I actually found that game. It's here. Click this game and you can play it. Finally, I actually found the real thing." Like talking about like those weird, you see like the weird like the ad is not what the actual game plays like.
Yeah, so many of those game ads are not at all what the game actually is like at all.
So that's what. It was the same thing though. It was like one of those weird homescapes things. But he's like, "But this is the real one. You can actually play it here. Click this link. Hey gamers, it's me. It's your boy. Thanks for tuning in." This ad that you're forced to watch.
I see so many that look like they're like just like a methed out dude who's like dipping, and he's like just selling the ad, like trying to see like so many of them are just like, "Hey, check out this cool game. It's like the crazy shit I ever played." it's like
bingo night or whatever it's called.
Bingo night. Yeah. It's just it's so, and it's like it feels like I can see like the machine like poking out behind the skin and I hate this sensation. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I've watched a Terminator cut open its arm and there's like a fucking innards or like its robot arm, except it's like the Terminator is just, its face is like falling off because it's badly like stapled onto its face, and I'm just seeing like Arnold Schwarzenegger's face just kind of like flap around as like a robot is like skeleton is like and there's like just that constant fight of like the stapled on Arnold Schwarzenegger face that can't like, that isn't doing its job at all, and then like a fucking like skeleton's like robot face underneath, like with a jaw just like a puppet. I don't know, it's a weird analogy, but that's how it feels to me, is like watching a Terminator try and mimic a conversation with me with a poorly stapled on human face. Which is actually a horror comic I wrote once, so I guess it all comes full circle.
Yeah, I would agree that it definitely feels super weird and like inhuman and robotic.
Yeah.
It's like a, I don't know, strange. I wonder how that ends up making money somehow in the end, because that's the whole goal.
Like, it's got to be diminishing returns, but like also I think it's because, I don't know, because somebody's paying for these ads, which means, and like there's a bajillion of these ads, so like at what point in the production process does money actually happen?
I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's all for like money laundering or something.
I assume it's money laundering, honestly. It feels like a big money laundering front. This Willem Dafoe, because I'm drawing from memory, is like so stylized.
Yeah, I haven't even started my Willem Dafoe yet. I'm still trying to decide how to incorporate him. It's gonna be some weird like side thing. I feel like.
But gosh, those fucking ads, man. They just, I feel skeeved out. I feel dirty, like, because I'm participating in the system, like by playing these games and like watching these ads to get these free gems, just so I don't pay money to these things. Like, it's just like they're meant to wear you down. Like all of these games are meant to eventually wear you down. So you're just like, fine, I'll give you $5 fucking for these gems. And then you do once, and then they're like, yes, got it.
Word gets out.
Yeah. And then you're a sucker for life.
It's like feeding a stray cat, and then all the ads come for you.
Yeah. Well, that's so like a while back, I purchased like a MIDI chord pack that like they like, if you watch anything about music production on YouTube, you got ads for this MIDI chord pack, and they were like, please, there's 2 days left, just buy it. Here, it's like for $6. And I was like, you know, normally I see this like when I first got these ads, I saw this going for like $60 or something like that. Now it's like $6. I was like, whatever, I'll pay money. Maybe I'll learn some music theory from having a bunch of chords labeled, and I can just drag them into things and sort of like analyze them. So I bought it. And like I realized immediately upon the money leaving my PayPal that like I didn't get scammed. I didn't like lose my bank account info or anything like that. Like I made sure it was secure and all that stuff. But like I realized as soon as that money like my phone was like, hey, you just paid like $6 out of your PayPal, that I had just wasted my fucking money. And like the buyer's remorse set in right away.
I have that sensation fairly often.
And like, it was a waste of money. It was like, maybe I got some cool drum loops out of it, but like the fucking MIDI chords are like horribly like organized, and they're terrible, and they suck, and they don't have like, it's not complete at all. It's just like, here's a bunch of chords. it's
you
bullshit.
Should make a whole song using that terrible pad.
I should. I tried. It was hard because like they're so horribly organized that like it's hard to find the right chords to fit together sometimes. It's dumb. And it's terrible. And and now I just like get ads from that like creator all the time for more bullshit products that look terrible. And I just I was like, man, I let myself be a sucker, and I knew I was a sucker as I was doing it, but I still did it. And I'm just a sucker. And that's the system that we live in, is eventually you're gonna be a sucker, you're gonna get wore down until you eventually give in, and somebody gives you a good enough pitch where you're just like, fuck it, here's $6.
We're all surrounded by people trying to make us into suckers, so it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's like whenever, so I played a lot of those Yakuza games, and like, and when you're playing the game, like, you're walking around and you just constantly get in fights with people who are trying to like scam you out of money. They're like, hey, you're drunk, give me your money, and then you're like, no, fuck you, and then they fight you, and like that's what it feels like being like advertised to constantly. It's like you're just like, it's like you're walking the street and somebody like comes up and just like, hey, I saw that you watched a video about music, buy this fucking MIDI chord pack, and you're like, no, and they're like, okay, well, anytime you're on the internet, I'm on your ass like grass until I wear you down. And that's what it's like.
Muggings would be more exciting if they went that way.
Yeah. And like half the missions, like the Yakuza games make it seem like if I go to Japan, like 80 people are gonna try and scam me out of money, because like there are so many missions in the game where you get a phone call and someone's like, hey, we're installing that water heater, and you're like, I didn't order a water heater, and they're like, well, you gotta come down to our office because we're installing a water heater right now. And then you go there and it's like, they pay us a bunch of money for a water heater, and you're like, I never agreed to, and it just, like, there are 80 missions like that in every Yakuza game, and it just makes it seem like you go to Japan and, like, somebody tries to, like, scam the shit out of you, like, the moment. But that's also just like every city, I guess. And, like, everybody
wants your money.
Everyone wants your money, and everyone's, like, no one's trying to do it, like, legit for the most part. I mean, plenty of people are, and that's obviously who you have to, but it's just, like... You'll see like an island of like genuine, like whatever, like a business doing something genuine or something like that, amidst a sea of like scam artists, and you're just like trying to reach the fucking island. And also it's still a business, it's still a capitalist enterprise, so it's not ever gonna be pure. It's still for money. I don't know. Fuck capitalism, man. That's all I'm saying, I guess. I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, you're not a fan of capitalism?
I'm just, yeah.
I know that about you.
Whoa. Have I talked about that before?
I don't think so. I think that's a new one.
But yeah.
Boy,
this is just what was that?
Some of the worst things I've done.
Oh no.
Leviathan Dunn says, damn it, I didn't get a notification for the episode and I missed all of it. Now I'm depressed.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, but there are VODs. You can.
You've always got the VODs.
Enjoy this wonderful thing that you missed out on. And tomorrow, is it cool if I announce that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't.
Nothing's happening tomorrow.
We're not doing anything.
Tomorrow you're one day closer to watching
Wednesday.
more DrawBomb.
Yeah. Not really for streaming purposes. It's more getting the raw shit done. I mean, it's not like it's a secret.
Kind of looks like.
It's just
kind of looks like the Grinch. Jim Carrey's Grinch.
What was that?
As a man. So my Willem Dafoe is bad.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about mine because mine looks the same way.
Oh. Kind of honed in, but I'm sure that getting honed in.
There's a machine brand in it, and I'm raging against it.
That's true. You do hate the machine.
I'm not
What
a
do you
fan
do
of the
when
machine.
rages back?
I don't know. That's like every day. The machine is constantly raging back.
Yeah, the machine rages harder than
The machine rages
anyone against it.
24/7. Xenu says that they put their Willem Dafoe into Discord.
Yeah. Glad to see it. It's always fun.
Yeah. You can always draw along too, folks. If you you don't even have to be good at drawing. You just gotta have the heart.
Levine Thinden says, well, I better get to bed. Sorry I missed the show, guys. Bums me out that I couldn't support today. You were there in
That's all
spirit.
good. You were there in
appreciate
spirit.
you.
We
made
still
it.
have your money.
You're here.
We
We're
have your
streaming.
money. Speaking of business enterprises, you gave us money. We have it. So I don't know. Can we really be so mad at you?
I'm gonna spend that money on virtual watermelons in my iPhone game.
Yeah. Actually, what are we gonna spend that money on?
Shoot.
Ads?
I'm gonna buy a car, a new house. I'm gonna buy
Buy a wife.
a pool.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna buy a wife.
I'm gonna buy a wife. I'm gonna go like some place and be like, hey, I want to
Wife
marry
store.
a person with money. The wife store. I want to marry a person with money. It's Las Vegas.
I just got a fresh $100 check from Twitch. Who wants to be my wife?
Yeah.
How's your drawing coming along?
It's just about done.
Close. Just gotta color this baby. I'm real ashamed of it. Are we able to use the fridge thing yet, or is that not set up?
Fridge?
We're showing off our
The
viewers'
fridge.
work.
As long as we give me proper lead up, we should be able to use the fridge.
Okay. We don't have to even bother with it this
No. I have it set
I
up.
was just curious.
It's set. We just have to give me enough time to like make sure that the window works. And we're good to go.
Should have we could always like have like a small like transition animation that would give you a second to like make sure everything's looking the way it should look.
You can always do one of those like we have a little bomb go.
Yeah. The noise too. Just like
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty nice. We could animate a little explosion, have the little bomb pop up, make a little stinger out of it. Scene transitions would up the production value. All the fancy streamers have stingers.
I want to be a fancy streamer.
I want a fancy stream.
I'm sick of this 2-bit low production value stream. I want bells and whistles too.
Oh, we got bells. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Did you hear that? Did you hear that bell? That was a bell.
I did.
Ding-
What about
ding-
whistles? Do you
ding-a-ling.
have those? Oh shit.
Yeah. Fucking sick, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, we got
I
shit.
realized we had all that.
Up the wazoo. This is ridiculous.
Mine is super dumb too. I'm not sure if the joke will even come across.
My joke's gonna come across. I'm making it very abundantly clear, but That's why I think it's so dumb. Is because the joke is so unsubtle.
Have you seen the new Spider-Man?
I have not, no. Although it's on, is it on Disney yet?
I don't think so.
Eh.
The last thing I've seen a Defoe in.
We're gonna not have Disney Plus in this household for a little bit soon, cause we did some finagling. So now instead of like 2 Hulu accounts and one that's got Disney and ESPN, which we don't use ESPN, the family's got my Hulu account without ads, and then whenever we want, we'll just get a Disney Plus for like a month, just to, if like some movies came out and we want to watch them real quick. So that way.
And every new Marvel movie comes out, so you don't want to miss those.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen anything Marvel related since Spider-Man Far From Home. But like that was the only one I'd seen since Endgame.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not. Kind of like. I think I've talked about this before.
The fatigue is real.
I'm tuckered out. Well.
Yeah.
All the Marvel stuff. And
Marvel.
Occasionally something good rolls around, and that's cool. But like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch 30 things about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like honestly, even if it was like you could argue like a TV show is a long running thing about the same thing, but all the Marvel stuff combined, I feel like is still longer than any show.
I think the thing is, and I've noted, like, I said this before about, and I might have said it on this quote unquote show, but like when they did Endgame and they concluded the whole saga of like Thanos, etc., 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 like the shit they'd been building up since the Avengers, or like since Iron Man. Like that felt like they did it. Like they had completed the whole thing. Like you had everyone fighting, the entire, like half the existence of the universe was at stake. You did it. You had everyone on the screen at once fight and punch and shit. You did it. You never have to do it ever again, and in fact you should stop.
We're setting up the next round right now.
They're setting up the next round, and it's like, no. There will be no next round because I'm done. I've cashed out. And I know, like, I've noticed that I like watched a couple people review Endgame, and like everyone said the same thing. They were just like, okay, you did it. You're done. No more.
A lot of people breathed the sigh of relief, but they were like, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah, it was like a fun 15-year-long experiment with a movie cinematic universe that you did, and you nailed it. You pulled it off. There were some hitches, but like for the most part, you did something groundbreaking and incredible.
Pretty impressive for what it is.
Yeah, and now you can stop. There's no more. Stop making the things.
Not only is there more, but
sick.
They've started to turn every other thing they own into its own cinematic universe.
Oh my God.
Star Wars, they're doing the exact same thing.
I was sick of Star Wars before the second movie came out. I was just like, as soon as they announced like Rogue One and Solo and like 2 and 3, I was just, and like and Mandalorian, I was just like, oh, I'm done. I loved Star Wars until this.
Yeah.
I used to like, there was a brief period of like a year, maybe half a year, where I wrote raps and like for my music that I was making, and all my raps were exclusively about Star Wars or like me as a Star Wars character. And I'm fucking sick of Star Wars. And I haven't seen the trilogy. That's how serious it is. Like, that's it. Done.
I think I'm done with my drawing, by the way.
I'm just about done. It's not going to be fully colored. It's going to be colored enough. I hope that's okay.
I guess that's fine.
Better be. They'll be ready in like 2 minutes. I'm sorry. I got caught up talking on this show.
You're good.
All right. You need to rant and rave about pointless drivel at some point.
I know. I'm not as good at ranting as you are. You're professional.
I have thoughts on things because I do care about like art, and these things are like what we get. Like this is the swill they feed us that they call art, and like I have opinions on them.
Yeah. that's the whole point, you know.
Yeah.
As a consumer, you're allowed to give your opinion.
But probably doing myself no favors if I ever hope to get a career creating stuff with people. Just like come on here and
I think anybody who's
bitch and
passionate
moan.
about creating media or like, you know, like visual media probably has tons of opinions on it. It's something you're interested in.
That's true, but I think if you ever want to be successful, sometimes you gotta play the game. You gotta be like,
Yeah, for sure.
fuck yeah, I love Free Guy, dude. Did you love Free Guy, dude?
That get you jobs? Maybe
Dude.
if you're applying to some place that had something to do with it.
Well, it definitely gets you like jobs if you have a video of you going, dude, I fucking love Free Guy. That shit was when they had that stupid fucking Marvel and lightsaber like tie-in bullshit. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, bro. But that's gonna fare a lot better in like a background check than like, man, this fucking movie. And then someone
I
else.
liked when she kissed a video game character and she was all like, oh, like
Yeah.
heart fluttering.
None of
Like,
that
what?
shit made sense, but there were some jokes like when she's like, someone's at the door and Ryan Reynolds goes, I'll say. I laughed at that. That made me laugh. But none of it made sense. None of it, like, if you thought about it for like 2 seconds, it was like just all the romance. Like, she fell in love with a game character. Oh, and spoilers, by the way, but oh, because he programmed him to. Fucking
I think that
gag
was the
me.
thing. Like I've seen dumb movies before. That wasn't the part that was offensive. It was just that it was so cringy.
It was so cringy, man. It was like,
I don't know why. I don't know what made it extra cringy compared to
Because-
other bad things.
I watched Your Movie Sucks review the movie because I just watched it, so I was just like, okay, I'm curious what he says, and he complained about it a lot, and like sometimes he complains about movies, and I'm just kind of like, okay, dude, like chill. And I'm the one saying that,
Yeah.
but he did like basically talk about everything I said, and he put to words better some of the things that I was thinking about it that I blatantly stole to say about the movie for this thing. But I don't know, I'm losing track of what I was trying to talk about. What were we talking about just now? Like, what was the crux?
What makes it so cringy?
Oh yeah, because it feels like the equivalent of like that. How do you do, fellow students? Like
That
the
is
movie.
it. Yeah, it's like gamers by people who, or you know, everything about it was like nothing. Yeah, you could tell it wasn't written by somebody who actually knows their shit.
Ever touched a video game in their life, or like they just like used a bunch
Just,
of
like,
buzzwords.
Get ninja. Get the people from Twitch.
Yeah, and like
excited.
I've never not cringed seeing Ninja just at all in life. Like
He's kind of like if cringe manifested itself as a human, like
Yeah.
crawled out of the ooze, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I am alive.
I don't know what it like. He is it like because like so many things I see him in. Like, is he supposed to be like cool? Like, because he's not. I don't know. I'm not cool. I would never pretend
I
I
think
was.
he's just good at video games, and that's
He's
it.
just
Right?
good at video game, but like I see like commercials where it's just like Ninja and like it's like, check out this new computer, B-boy stands, and it's just like Ninja uses this computer, and it's like, God. And
That's
he's
the
just
thing.
there.
Is like, once again, I think every time that people see how popular he is, they don't know why, and they try to play it off like he's cool. But I don't think his fans are like, this guy's super cool. I think they're like, wow, he's good. They're all small children,
Kids.
but also they're like, he's good at video games, so it's fun to watch that.
Yeah, it's fun
I
to
don't
watch
think they
people be
think
good at
he's
games.
Cool.
I
don't
get
know,
it.
I think he's cool.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like
Maybe-
that his name is Ninja. That just adds to the whole.
Yeah. It's pretty cringe.
I don't know what it is. I'm just
I don't
shitting
know,
on
man.
people.
I'm Top Cat, yo, and I'm calling Ninja cringe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just shitting on people who are more successful than me.
I'm just shitting on everything today, man. I am just shitting on life. I sound awfully depressed tonight. I don't feel particularly extra.
Are you,
I mean,
Ian?
I'm always depressed, but I don't feel like particularly so
Oh.
tonight. I just feel like normal depressed. But Yeah, Ninja has always made me just like anytime I just see his face, I'm just like, because I've seen clips. I've never watched like a Ninja stream. I've never been like, oh,
Me
let's
neither,
sit down and watch this Ninja fellow. But I don't know. I've seen clips, and it's just like he seems like he just like yells at his game a lot, and I'm just not. That's not the energy I'm looking for.
There's a lot of popular streamers, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you want big reactions when you're playing your game. It's not like, it's not very fun if like something crazy happens in a game and the person's just like, oh wow, cool, moving on. So here's where I'm trying to solve this puzzle.
Right.
But like,
You
if
have to
you
be like animated.
yeah, you gotta be like, oh my god, you know. And I just
Maybe that's what our show's missing.
Maybe, yeah, maybe one of us needs to fucking become a hackneyed reaction artist. Whoa, dude! Did you just conjure the famous line from Trolls 2? Dude!
I did, bro! I totally did!
That's a total nerdgasm, bro. I fucking nerd jizzed all over my nerd shorts. Hell yeah. Lightsabers. Lightsabers. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. Dude.
Just saying buzzwords.
Yeah. Green Lantern, Shimmelamane? Now I'm just saying Simlish. I'm just about done with this image. I'm sorry I'm taking forever.
No, that's alright. I could have used that time to make mine good. But alas, I did not.
It's almost done. I'm just adding some important details. Not at all a waste. People watching the VOD won't think at all, that's not an important detail. It's not extraneous.
I'm sure whatever you're adding to Willem Dafoe is very important right now. Ian,
what's up?
Do you have anything you'd like to plug in the meantime?
You know?
Or am I jumping the gun here?
No, that's fine. You know, we got something coming out soon. We're working on it tomorrow night. That's what Brandon was talking about earlier, but it's not anything that's quite ready for consumption, I think, by the end of tomorrow night. But we're working on it. We're excited. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. So, look forward to that. Aside from that, I'm working on an album. I'm getting it like ready to go. I'm hoping it'll probably release early May. So look forward to that as well.
Just the one you've been streaming? Working on?
Yes. It's on its way.
Is that called Head Herders, or is that just what you've been calling the stream?
That's what I'm calling the streams for just lately.
Oh, okay.
How do you like that name, by the way?
I do like it. Your first album is called Head Comet, so if it was Head Herders, maybe it would be some kind of like
head theme.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be called Battle Master because it's mostly like beats I did over the course of 1 year for a beat battle. That was like weekly. But now it's just.
I remember that now.
Yeah, but now it's just a compilation of 52 beats that I've made for beat battles. Just remixed and remastered to sound as crisp as possible.
Combining the beats, or are there 52 tracks on this album?
52 tracks. It's going to be about a 2-hour listen. But
that's kind of cool. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I often, your music's very kind of like chill, so I often like put it on in the background. So like it'd be fun to have a real long one. Yeah,
I'm actually gonna. So like the service I'm releasing it on is through SoundCloud. It's gonna put it on like Spotify, Apple Music. By the way, I'm done with my thing. I'm officially ending it.
Okay.
So
time to reveal these babies. Why is Spider-Man's pee hole under attack?
Because it's just the worst thing I could think of that would happen to this person if you fail at the puzzle game.
Fuck you, Spider-Man.
I like yours. Click the X. There's like a bunch of fake
I feel
X's.
like if the ad was or the way to exit out of the ad is the same thing as the game. I have to explain the joke. I feel like that
I
makes
get
more
it.
Enjoyable.
I get the joke. I think it helps that if you watch the whole episode, I think the context is important.
That's true.
But hold on, he plays on his phone, and I like that. It's a clever pun. You figured out the better pun. I'm gonna go check out the DrawBomb draw.
Z-Newt's drawing.
Okay, so I'm gonna get this set up. But in the meantime, do you have anything you want to plug?
Gosh, I mean, you already kind of mentioned what I was gonna say. We're working on kind of a little like standalone video that we're testing some new. I don't know. Technology seems too big of a word. We're testing some new like ideas of how we can play around with like the stream and the medium of us like being not in the same place.
Yeah.
With some stuff, and some of that we may even implement on this show if it goes well.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, the thanks for watching thing says with special guest Shiny Doggy.
Ah, crap. Shiny Doggy was not here tonight, folks, but they are here in spirit. They were a great guest, and they've expressed willingness to be back on, which I think would be great.
They were here the whole episode, but we forgot to put their camera in.
They were on mute the whole time.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, Shiny, I'm so sorry.
She had a lot of great things to say. It's too bad that.
Yeah, you should have heard the shit she was saying about iPhone games.
It was funny. Oh well.
Blew the lid off the whole industry.
Next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes tomorrow, and the video. I'm sure when it's all put together, we will definitely plug it here and implement some of those ideas on the live show, which is cool. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, and if this goes well, I'm kind of interested in maybe using this same sort of technique to make more things like it. We'll see. But sure. That's a whole other thing. But anyways, stuff will be revealed by Friday, I think, is when we have to. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Point is, stuff will be revealed. But we're gonna go check out the fan drawings now. So this is from Z-Newts. So this is on our little fridge here, but if you want to zoom in, this is what they are showing off. This is a lighthouse reference.
The lighthouse, yeah. What's he got there? He has a bottle of booze, a knife, and
like a Venus, like mermaid, or some kind of carving, like a Venus de Milo or something like that.
Why'd you spill your beans?
I haven't seen that movie yet, so I don't get it.
It's a strange film, but I recommend it.
I've been meaning to check it out.
If you're a fan of the medium, it's worth a watch because it's just like a trip.
Yeah, I've just been crazy busy lately, and like when we do movie nights, it's not the movie we've watched, so it's
That's fair. Fair.
Yeah. But it's a good one.
Z-Newts also wanted to mention their morning show. What time do you usually go live, or is it just
usually whenever they wake up?
Okay, so if you haven't followed Z-Newts yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and follow them.
I'm slowly molding them into a competent streamer. They haven't watched any tutorial videos. Well, yes, because they ask me all the time for help, and I have to keep putting out fires.
I made you.
Yeah. I made you. No, it's fine.
So it's trying to start at 6 a.m. So
good Lord.
Bright and early.
Yeah.
You can watch his stream while you're brushing your teeth and frying your morning eggs, brewing that cup of coffee.
Yep.
Crawling out of bed.
The best part of waking up is that you could log on to Twitch and watch Z-Newts Morning Show. Woo!
It's twitch.tv/ZNEWTS.
TS! Yeah! Is that what Twitch streamers do? Is this gonna make us popular if we do this shit? Cool! People love it. They love it. Yay! So happy.
Well,
well, that's this fucking episode.
All right.
Is good?
That's what we had to show now.
Yeah, goodbye. Well, I'm actually zoomed in on myself. I'm trying to fix up.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. We had Extra Attack, Bell Bell, Rocket Captain, Sheepy, Z-Newts, Leviathan Den, which I'm actually very disappointed in for missing the show.
How dare they?
I know.
I'm gonna
Won't
like
fly.
murder them. No, that's gonna get us banned if I say that. We're not gonna do that.
Murder the idea of them. That's what I'm gonna do. And thanks, Vampy Hablib 13 for being here.
Vampavlov's dog. Anyways, I don't know. What the fuck are we doing anymore? Goodbye, everybody, right?
Alright, bye.
Yeah, bye. Okay, we're just gonna end. Goodbye, go away. Stop. This is a mess. When we don't know what we're doing, this is how it goes.